average champions. I have created a spreadsheet that will simplify managing the cost of labor, and this tool will assist you in your financial planning. Here's how to navigate the De Bruyne cost of labor spreadsheet. Step 1. Labor cost percent. In the first section titled Labor Cost Percent, you will see that the entire year is broken down in 4 categories of 3 months each. This is to provide you with an accurate labor cost percent for your first, second, third, and final quarter. In the first column named Cost of Labor, you will see that the month of January is to the left of it. This is so that you can enter your entire cost of labor for each month. Once you have completed this step, you will then move on to step 2. Step 2, total sales. In the next column named Total Sales, you will enter your total sales of each month, and you will then see that the De Bruyne spreadsheet will generate in the next column your labor cost percent for you. Step 3, sales per labor hours used. Move to the right-hand side of the page to the next section titled Sales per labor hours used. Step 4, total sales. Total sales that you have previously entered have been carried over to save time. Step 5, labor hours used in the next column named Labor Hours Used. You will enter the total amount of labor hours used during the month that it took to generate the total sales. Once you have completed this step, you will see that the De Bruyne spreadsheet will have generated your sales per labor hour in the next column. Step 6, labor dollars per guest served. Move to the right-hand side of the screen to the next section titled Labor Dollars per Guest Served. Step 7, cost of labor. Go to the column named Cost of Labor and enter your entire cost of the 4 each month. Step 8, number of guests served. Go to the column named Number of Guests Served and enter the total number of guests served that month. Once you have completed this step, you will see that the information will automatically update in the column Labor Dollars per Guest Served. Step 9, guests served per labor dollar. Go to the next section of the page titled Guests Served per Labor Dollar. The De Bruyne spreadsheet has already computed everything in this section, and you will now be able to go straight to the last column of this section named Guests Served per Labor Dollar. Step 10, Guests Served per Labor Hour. Go to the right-hand side to the next section of the page titled Guests Served per Labor Hour. The De Bruyne spreadsheet has already calculated everything in this section for you, and you will now be able to go straight to the last column named Guests Served per Labor Hour. Step 11, Estimated Cost of Labor. Go to the next section titled Estimated Cost of Labor. In this section, you will enter in the first column named Number of Estimated Guests Served. Enter the information of the estimated number of guests served. Step 12, Guests Served per Labor Dollars. Go to the column named Guests Served per Labor Dollar and enter the actual number of guests that have been served. Once you have completed this step, you will see that the De Bruyne spreadsheet will generate the information for you in the last column named Estimated Number of Guests Served. Step 13, Cost of Labor Budget. Go to the right-hand side of the page to the next section titled Cost of Labor Budget. In this section, you will go to the column named Forecasted Total Sales. Enter your forecasted total sales into the column for every month. Step 14, Labor Cost Percent. Go to the column named Labor Cost Percent and enter your relevant labor cost percent. Once you've completed these steps, you will see that the last column named Cost of Labor Budget will immediately update. Step 15, Labor Hour Budget. Go to the right-hand side of the page to the next section titled Labor Hours Budget. In this section, you will need to go to the first column named Forecasted Number of Guests Served and enter the relevant information for every month. Step 16, Guests Served per Labor Hour Standard. Go to the next column named Guests Served per Labor Hour Standard and enter the relevant information for every month. Once you have completed these steps, you will see that the De Bruyne spreadsheet will have generated results for you in the last column named Labor Hours Budget. Step 17, Percentage of Budget. Go to the right-hand side of the page to the next section titled Percentage of Budget. Step 18, go to the first column named Actual Amount and enter your actual budget amount for every month. Step 19, Budgeted Amount. Go to the column named Budgeted Amount and enter the budgeted amount for every month in this column. Once you have completed these steps, the De Bruyne spreadsheet will have generated the percentage of budget for you. Step 20, This Year's Projected Labor Cost. Go to the right-hand side of the page to the next section titled This Year's Projected Labor Cost. Step 21, This Year's Sales. Go to the first column of the section named This Year's Sales and enter the total sales of every month in every row next to the relevant month. Step 22, Last Year's Adjusted Labor Cost Percent. In the column named Last Year's Adjusted Labor Cost Percent, you will enter last year's adjusted labor cost for every month. Once you have completed these steps, the De Bruyne spreadsheet will have automatically generated results for you in the last column of this section, named this year's projected labor cost step 23 labor cost percent, today and to date. Go to the right-hand side of the page to the next section named labor cost percent today and to date. You will notice that in this section there are 4 groups, one for every week. Step 24. Day and date in the first column named day and in the second column named date, enter the relevant information into these 2 columns. Step 25. Cost of labor today, in the column named cost of labor today, enter the amount that you have spent on labor on that day. Step 26. Sales today. In the column named sales today, you will enter your total sales for that day. This will always work best if you do this on an everyday basis. Once you have completed these steps, you will see that the De Bruyne spreadsheet will have generated results for you in columns cost of labor to date, sales to date, labor cost percent today, and labor cost percent to date. So that's the way of it then. If you like the De Bruyne spreadsheet, you are welcome to follow the link to post it in the chat. You can put that in your pipe and smoke it.